Okay guys, this is part 2 of the Summer Brag Book mini albums, and this is the tutorial part. So I pray that you guys are having a good day. Welcome back to my channel, and we're going to just go ahead and jump in and get started. So we're going to go ahead and measure, and I'm going to give you the measurements. So this book measures 5.5 wide, and it is 6 inches long. So if you have a 12 by 12, you'll be able to get 2 from the same paper. Okay, so we're going to go through, and this is the fun little book I've already showed you in the tutorial, and we're going to get started. So first you're going to need a piece for your front and your back cover. Okay, so make sure you get those picked out first, right? And what I did was you're going to cut this, and I think I used the whole entire, did I use the whole piece? Yes, I used the whole entire piece, the 12 by 12, but you're going to cut it at 12 inches wide. Okay, you're going to cut it at 12 inches wide by 6 inches long. Okay, and then you're going to score it. Now, you're going to score, and it depends on your scoreboard. Some people's scoreboards go from this side to this side, and some people's scoreboards go from this side to this side, which, you know, is kind of crazy, but that's how it does. But if yours goes from, and now when I score my paper, a lot of people score it from the front. I don't think it matters. It just depends on the paper or however you want to do it. I do it different ways, but I usually do it on the inside when I do my score lines. So you're just going to get your scoreboard, and you're going to score over at 5.5. And I don't know if you can really see that on there, but I'm just going to walk you through it. Get your bone folder, get your scoreboard out, or you can use your paper trimmer. Let me see, where is my scoreboard? It's right here. Okay, so basically you just get your scoreboard, okay, and you're gonna put it in here, and you're gonna score at 5.5. I'm just gonna rescore it, it's fine, and then I'm gonna score it at 11. Okay, or if yours starts on this side, you know, you can score it at 1 and then score it at 5.5. Yes, so either way you're going to score at 5.5 and 11, or 1 and 5.5, if that makes sense. Okay, but I'm doing it on this side, not the front side. If you do it on the front side, you're going to score at 1 inch and 6.5. Okay, so make sure you pay attention to that. However you want like scoring, you make sure that you do it, or you would do it at 5.5 over, and then I think that would probably be on your scoreboard 11 inches. Okay, so it just depends on which direction or how you're going to do it, but I do mine from here. Okay, so we're going to move on. So both of those are done the exact same way, the front and the back cover. Okay, so make sure you pay attention to, also if you have directional paper, that you make sure you pay attention to that. That's very important. Okay, now, and then you're gonna need 1, 2, 3, let's see, 3 pieces. I don't want to get my stuff messed up, so anyway, we'll just start with that, okay, because I don't want to get out of order. Okay, so we're going to do that part, okay, and we'll talk about the other pieces in a minute, because I don't want to get myself messed up, and I don't want to mess y'all up. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to join to make this, and this piece on your back cover has to go up like this. Okay, and then your because it's going to be like your middle. Okay, this is going to be kind of like the middle of your book. Does that make sense? And then this is going to make your pocket. Okay, so I'm fixing to show you how to do that in just a minute. But first, what I like to do before I join them together, because once this is joined, okay, and once this is closed, this is going to be your back and your front cover. Does that make sense? And then you'll see how it's going to make your pocket here and your pocket there. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But first, we got to do some gluing, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to leave this open for your top loading pocket, okay? So you're just going to take it, since you already have this here, all you got to do is glue here and here, and then close it up, okay? So what I do is I take my glue, my art glitter glue. You can use whatever glue you have or feel comfortable with. But I just take it and I just put a bead of glue down it like this. And then I just go across the bottom. I hope y'all can see this because I'm going to keep you in frame. Okay, and I just go across the bottom. Okay, and all I do is I just close it and kind of make sure it's lined up a little bit. Don't, you know, make sure it's not all womp womp. Wait a minute, am I right about that? Yes, okay. And make sure it don't go over your score line. Let's see if y'all can see that. Yeah, let's make sure that you can kind of see that. Make sure it does not go over your little score line, okay? Make sure your little score line, well, you can, that'll bend. We don't want to, you know, mess anything up. And all I do is take my little bone folder. Now, I'm going to tell you, normally I don't glue on this. I use my mat, but I'm not pulling it over today. But however, I always use, and I know better than this, y'all. Of course, I don't see it, my glue sheet that I use. I'm the world's worst about losing something, y'all. I do not know why, but I am. But let me get another piece of something to put. Let me get a piece of paper. Oh, here we go. We'll use a piece of paper. I don't like for my stuff to leak out on my thing. I want to keep that all nice and pressed down. Okay, so we're going to let that dry a minute. And if you get some glue that seeps out, use a paper towel and you just kind of wipe it. And this art glitter glue, it dries quick. Okay, so you got your first page and your hinge. Look at how cute that is. I love it. Okay, so anyway, and I will give you a tip. Now, if me, personally, but I'm not doing it, and I don't want to do it because I want to keep this a low budget item. But I was thinking to myself, you know, sometimes those things feel kind of flimsy, but once you put everything on it, it gets kind of thick. But you could put an extra piece in there if you wanted it to be a little bit thicker, but it's fine. I think it's fine like it is. Then you're going to take this one and you're going to do it the very same way, the same gluing. You're going to run down here and down across the bottom. It's real simple. It's real easy to deal with. You just take your glue, and yes, I love this My Sweet Petunia little item. I love this. Your glue comes out really good. You don't have to worry about it clogging up or anything like that. But if I would pull the trigger right, I might could get a decent amount of glue to go across there. I think I need to put a little bit more here. And this thing about this art glitter glue, y'all, it dries super fast, like super duper fast. So you just fold it over, and yeah, make sure it's kind of lined up on your edge, right? I don't mind sticking over a little bit, but it ain't gonna hurt it. That's why I call it vintage vibes. It's got a little bit of kind of vintage. It don't really have to be perfect, and I love vintage things, and you know, make it look like it's been used a little bit, you know, type thing. So I think it's fine. If you see a little bit hanging off, you can probably flip it over and cut it off. It's not really a big deal, but we can trim it a little bit. If I can trim it, y'all, I can't even see today. I think I ate too much sugar yesterday. My child had he don't do traditional birthday cakes because he don't like them because it's too sweet, but he'll eat a cookie that's got icing in it. Now, that don't make sense, but anyway, that's what he wanted. Okay, now, Got the little pocket for the back page. You see that? See how that works? That's going to be your pocket for your back page. See that? Okay. Now, this part here is your front. Okay. This is your back page. Your back page piece is going to go over that. This is going to start making the hinge of your book. You see how that works? Okay. And all I do is I don't focus really much on this part too much. Okay, because you're going to, like I said, take that marker and you're going to go over that a little bit, okay? So what I do is I put my score tape on this flap right here. Okay, so you just use your tape. You don't have to use score tape. You can use ATG. I like using it is because it's strong, and sometimes I'll just use my ATG gun. You can use that on it. I don't particularly care to do that as much. Okay, but I'll put 2 or 3. I like to use my score tape because it is so strong, and you don't really have to focus or worry about it. But what I do, just for me, my sake, you don't have to do this, and it gives you time, to gives you a little bit of wiggly room to put your stuff down. Okay, well, my glue's trying to act up today, and it don't normally do that. Let's see, so I put a little bit of glue on it and look like I'm not driving straight today. But yeah, but I ate one of those cookie things that had that icing in it, and I tell you what, y'all, it has been, been getting me. You know, I had to drink a lot of water to try to get some of that sugar out. But all I do is I take it and I just lay it down, and I just make sure that I don't go over my score line, because that's very important. And it's okay to, and usually if you're not going over it here, you're not going over it in the back, because if you're cutting them 1 inch or doing them 1 inch, it should be perfect and it should line up. So you just, you know, get your bone folder and let that get, you know, stuck to each other really, really good, and wipe off any excess glue off your paper. Okay. And I'll make sure I got no tape. I think I got a little bit of that sticky tape sticking out. I should have pushed that in, but that's okay. Okay. All right. So there we go. So that's on there. Now look at that. That's your little part of your booklet starting. It's pretty cool. Pretty easy. Pretty simple. Pretty cool. Okay. So you got your front. And you got your back. Now we're going to start building our pages. Now let's talk about our pages that go in the middles. They are different, okay? They're a different size, okay? All right, my first page that we're going to do, because I don't want to throw you off, okay, is we're going to glue it the same way, but I'm going to give you the measurements. I'm going to move this little glue paper for a minute. Okay, so this one is, the measurements for this part is 11.5, okay, wide, and it's the same length. It's 6 inches long, but it's 11.5 inches wide. This is your next page in line in the front, okay, and then you're going to score it. Let's look at it. So once you get that one done, and you can go back and write it down and all of that, but like I said, this will not really have a directional. Okay, so you can score. Now this one is scored much different, okay? So if you don't have a directional, I don't think it really matters, but we'll start on this side. Okay, so you got 1 inch. Now this is important, y'all, okay? It's 1 inch. And then it's 6 1/4, okay? This is a different measurement, and then so that's all you do. But if you're measuring it from this side over, like on mine, and yours would be, if you got measurements coming this side, you got 5 1/4, I think that's what that would be. That's a little less than that on this side. 5 1/4. That should have been in the middle of 10 1/2, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. Sometimes this paper just don't do right. But if you're doing it from this angle, on this side, you get 1 inch, 6 1/4, and then what you got left over here is right close to 11 1/2. It looks like it's a little shorter than that. I want to say that's about 5 1/8 left over on this side. I don't know, it just worked out that way. Let me make sure. Yeah, I think it did because I cut it off a little slither. So probably, but anyway, that's kind of how it worked out. But anyway, but that's what you get. So you need to cut your paper at 11 3/8. I think that's what maybe I done, because let me make sure. Okay, those are my pocket. Blah blah blah. Y'all, so long. Let me make sure. I don't want to tell you wrong. Look, I think that's what I did. But anyway, but just cut it. It doesn't matter. Just cut it at 11 1/2. But that's looking to be like 11 3/8. A little bit over that. And I don't know why. But anyway, 11 1/2 will be fine. It doesn't matter. Because once you score that, and if you need to cut off a little sliver, and I may have done it at 11. God, that's bugging me, y'all. That's bugging me. I think I took off. It's 11 3/8 actually. Just cut it at 11 3/8. That'll be fine. Wide. About 6 inches long. Because once you flip this in, you want this to sit up in this pocket. So I think that's why I did it that way. Okay. Crazy. I'm crazy. I'm telling you. Okay. So we're going to glue this one the very same. Just make sure you watch if you have directional paper. So we're going to glue that down the same. Okay, because they're all kind of the same. These same ones, you're going to glue them the same way. You're going to put your little bead of glue, you know, on this edge and this edge. Okay, and it's going to make another pocket. And I don't have my glue sheet. You know, why don't I have my glue sheet? Because it just left me. Look at that, and it's gonna get on the board. It just fell off in the floor. Y'all, I am the world's worst about dropping stuff. Do y'all drop stuff like me? So anyway, this is pretty simple. It's gonna make another pocket. Okay, we're gonna put that to the side, and we're gonna let that one dry. Okay, and basically this one. Okay, and I'm gonna show you. Just gonna go ahead and do it because. That way, once you get this one made, all you got to do, put that on there, okay? Because your other page, they're all going to be different, so I'm going to have to go through them with you one and one and one, okay? If that makes sense. Let me get up and grab that, because I don't want to on that. Okay, so sit there and behave yourself. This thing don't want to behave itself today, y'all. Okay, so this is your next piece you're going to add to your album, okay, your second page, okay? Okay, it's going to go on top in the middle, okay, like that, okay? And I'm thinking that I'm looking at it, we might need to trim this off just a hair piece, okay? Because I don't want it going over my score line. But this is the next one, and you can take your I think I'm gonna do my paper trimmer because yes, I'm very picky and I want my stuff to be, you're not gonna ever get it perfectly straight, like ever, okay? But I would probably just cut it off a little slither, okay? And so I'm gonna probably cut that off about probably an 1/8 of an inch, okay? So we're gonna put that on my 1/8 of an inch mark. So just cut that off a little slither off there, and I don't know why you want to do me that way. Okay, let's go this way with my paper trimmer. It didn't want to act right on that side, but that's okay. All right, so we're gonna cut that one off. Okay, and probably going to have to do the same thing to the other one. Okay, because I do not like it hanging over that at all. Okay, that's better. Here we go. Here we go. Look at there. It fits on there nicely. Okay. So we're going to take our score tape or whatever you have. You know, you can use your score tape. You can use your ATG gun, which in this case I'm going to do that today because it's pretty strong tape. And I've got the other glue that I'm putting on it, so you know, I just want to make sure that I get it on there pretty good. Okay. Now I'm going to make sure I ain't got no tape sticking over. And this is going to be my next piece in line. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on it. You just make sure you don't go over that score mark, okay? And that's the thing about this sweet petunia now. It don't drive straight like ours, me. You know, when you're not kind of, you know, use it all the time, it kind of, you know, dries kind of wompy on you until you get used to it. But then you just set it down besides that line. You don't want to go over it. Make sure you're top to bottom, and that putting that glue on there on that score tape kind of helps with that. Kind of gives you a minute to you know, get it set, okay? Because once you put it on, it ain't coming off. There's no coming off. I mean, and if you do pull it up, it's gonna rip it, okay? So that's really nice, you know. So there we go. That was your next page. And make sure you put your pocket side up, okay? Because if you don't, you're not going to have a pocket up there. You're going to have a bottom loading pocket, okay? That ain't going to work. So make sure you got to be careful with that. Next piece is going to go on is your next to the back page, not your center yet. Your center will go on last, okay? Your center piece will go on last because that's your middle. And this one is the same way, and I think I'm going to, let me see. Yeah, that's so cute. Look at that pretty orange. I want to put that orange on that side. But I'm going to have to cut that one off too. So let's just do that because you know what? Y'all, this stuff never ceases to amaze me when you get going and doing stuff. So just cut it off a little 1/8 of an inch sliver. You know, I like to make sure that it's not going to go over my score line. Okay, so just cut off a little 1/8 of an inch. And that way you don't have to worry about it going on there right. Okay, so it should fit nicely right down between the two score lines, and yes it does. Okay, perfect. Now this piece I think is the same as the other. I want to say the measurement was the same, but it's 11 3/8. That's why I cut that off on that end, because of that. That's why it ended up being 11 3/8. I originally started at 11.5 wide, and it's 6 inches long. That doesn't change. That's why it ended up doing that. Okay, that's why. But you're gonna score it. Okay, I know this is crazy, but I have to explain it. And look at me, I am just bumping this thing like I got nobody's business. Okay, I hope that didn't mess that up too bad. I'm gonna stay in frame. Okay, so if you score from this side, make sure you're directional, but you're gonna do it at 5 1/4 and 10 1/2. Okay, 5 1/4. Okay, let's just go ahead and do that, and 10 1/2. And that way you ain't got no problems, okay? And then if you score it from this side, you would do that at 7/8 and 6 1/8. Does that make sense? 7/8 and 6 1/8. Or from this side, you would have 5 1/4, 10 1/2. Okay, does that make sense? So, yeah, so that's what you would get. You would get it that way, but I would do mine like this: 5 1/4, 10 1/2. That seems to be more simpler to me. Okay, or from this angle would be 5 1/4, 10 1/2. Okay, makes sense. Okay, so that's what that is. Okay, now, yes, and it gets glued the exact same way. So you kind of get the gist of that now. Kind of getting a little bit, making a little bit more sense. Okay, So once you get this part done and this part's built, it's pretty simple, and you'll do them all like the same. Like you'll just be mass producing them, and you'll get used to the measurements, and you can go back, fast forward, write down, you know, all that kind of thing. I know it seems like it's a lot, but it's not really. Just make sure that's not going over that score mark, and that's one reason why, you know, I did this measuring this way, because, and make sure that if you got a directional print, which this one doesn't really matter, that your pocket is always going to be at the top. Make sure you remember that, okay? And I know this is pretty simple stuff, but sometimes you get new people, they don't know, they don't understand it, okay? So that piece is ready, and make sure your pocket's at the top. And then you're going to take this piece, and you're going to put it in the middle just like that. I always try to flip it over and see how this is coming apart. Now you got a little bit of a space over here and a little space over here, okay? So you got like a 3/8 of an inch, I guess, on both sides or whatever. But I'm going to take this part, and I'm going to put my score tape over in here. Not glue done yet. Get myself together here, y'all. I don't even know if you can see that. My eyeballs are not wanting to work today. I just put enough on there and try not to go over the line like I almost did. Oh, my mercies. Okay, we're going to put that back down. Make sure ain't no tape sticking over, and just kind of push it over with your finger if it is. Then take your glue, your wet glue, whatever you got, you know. Just make sure it's a good glue. It's a strong adhesive. A lot of people use barely glue or barely, I don't even know what that is. I don't use that, but a lot of people use that one. And then we're going to take this, and we're going to set it down over that little score line. We're going to make sure it's no, and I'm going to make sure I'm right side up. Now watch that pocket. See, I almost panicked. I was like, wait, what? Okay, so we're going to put that piece on there. Yep, do it that way so we have a little bit of color behind the next one. Okay, there we go. Then we're going to bend it back this way. Okay, I'm pretty sure that is right. Make sure I did that one right, because I'm pretty sure I did it like that. Yep, that's what I did. Okay. Yes. Okay, perfect. That will work out fine. Okay, so that's what I did. So now you've got your 4 loading pockets on the top. Really cute, really sweet. Nothing's touching. Everything can close. Okay, now you're going to get your centerpiece on. Now, the centerpiece, this first and that one second. You're going to have your centerpiece that goes in the middle. Okay, and you can just figure out which way you want it to turn. I'm thinking maybe I want mine like that with the green first. Let me see. Which one do I like? Which one do I like? I don't know. Kind of like that one too with it coming down. Let's see which one to me makes more sense that way to me. But this one's already smaller, okay? Because I had to figure that out too, okay? Now this piece here is going to be cut at, you don't have to modify this one at all, 11 inches wide, 6 inches long, okay, and 11 inches by 6 inches. And then you're going to take it and you're going to score it depending on what side of the paper. But you're going to score this. Now this one here is a little bit different. 5 1/8 and 5 7/8, okay? 5 1/8 and 5 7/8, okay? Depending on what side of your paper that you're doing it at, it should be the same, okay? It should be 5 1/8 and 5 7/8. Yes, so it depends on what side, and I think I scored mine on this side simply because it's going to be turning up. So I like to sometimes do it both ways, okay? So we got that measurement. That was pretty simple. You don't do anything else to it. Yeah, you round the corners, and in a minute I'm going to show you how to get those side pockets, okay? All right, so we got that handled. Okay, and then this one, we're going to take it and we're going to put it down in the middle, okay? We're going to put it in the middle so it'll fit between those two score lines, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this part here and I'm going to put my adhesive on it, okay, in the middle part. Okay, so I'm going to just run that on there. I'll tell you, it's hard to see when you got this white paper, especially if you got eyeballs like mine. It's pretty hard. Okay, now we got that tape on there, and just make sure we're all nice and snuggled. Then we're going to put our glue. I use art glitter glue, and you can use score tape. You don't have to do double glue because I'm going to put eyelets on it too, and that kind of helps hold your pages, but make sure they don't but it shouldn't move. It shouldn't move. Okay, then we're going to just flip it over and make sure you got your right side you want going. And so with this one, I kind of just eyeball it, and yeah, you just have to kind of watch it from your top to your bottom. Make sure we're not on that line. Basically, I just kind of just, hopefully it will, I can kind of see it in the middle. Oh yeah, it's kind of just takes a little bit of wiggling it a little bit around, and it may not be perfect, but hey, you just mash it down, use your bone folder, you know, and you can stand it up. Now I did do this the other day with some of them. I kind of stood them up and kind of looked and just kind of set it down on it like that. But if you can kind of see, you know, that it's kind of in the middle. Yeah, there we go, got it on there. And I just kind of take my bone folder, kind of bend it down. Yeah. And this is the only one that you're going to round the corners on. These other ones, you're going to leave those straight, okay? Now, for the side pockets, you're going to need 2 pieces are going to fit, and you got to round the corner, okay? And it's going to have to fit on this paper side. So what I would suggest you do before you cut these is measure this so it don't stick over, okay? So this one is 5 by 6. Make sure I got that right. It's up, well, this one's 5 1/8, 16th. It's a little bit over, but I don't think it'll hurt. As long as it don't bump that middle, I think it'll be perfectly fine, okay? But just make sure you measure. Now, all we're gonna do with this, we're gonna put glue on, just like you're making a pocket, okay? One side, the bottom, and the other side. That's all you're going to do. And then you're going to stick it down on this paper, okay? Okay, so, and we're not going to use, and make sure you round your corners before you stick it down on there, okay? So we're not going to use adhesive, because adhesive, if you put that that double-sided tape or with that sticky tape, it gets stuck to whatever you're putting in your pockets, okay? So all we're going to do is we're just going to make this like a pocket. I don't know if y'all can see that. Make sure I'm in frame. Make sure it's like down one side, the bottom, and the other side. And this, because your pocket's going to be on your side. So all I do is line it up with the corner down here. The little edge, the little white. I just kind of let it flow down, you know, and then I put my glue paper underneath it. Because when you start doing your little bone folder on it, that some of that glue may seep out if you get real close to the little edge. You see that? Okay, if you put too much glue sometimes. So you just take your paper towel and wipe it off. It's a good little tip. I just want to give y'all that because I learned that from the Posh Paper Lady, Miss Sherry. I think that's her channel, I'm pretty sure. She's real sweet. I just love her. She's got a lot of nice tips. And then when I get the other pocket on, and y'all, our book is coming together. I'm so excited. Okay, and then you got to do the same thing for this back side to do your other pocket. You're going to cut it the same. You're going to measure it. And you're going to put it on. I'm sure it's the same. 5 1/16 by 6 inches. And you can measure this side. And you're going to do the same thing. Make sure if you got directional paper like this other one, that it's going up at the top of your book. Okay, make sure. Okay. And we're just going to make it like our pocket. Okay. And we're going to put glue. This is here, here, and here. Okay. Yeah, I gotta keep myself in focus and keep my pockets going right. Because if I don't, I'll be, oh. And I'm going to try to drive this thing as straight as possible. Usually if I slow down a little bit, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you know, you want it to kind of be nice. So you don't want glue way off in here, you know. So then you'll take it and make sure your stuff is up straight. And I'll try not to grab that in. And sometimes I'll flip the book around, but I'll just do it up here at the bottom. Make sure it's lined up really nice with your paper on those edges. You just kind of drop it a little bit. Put your little paper under there to catch your glue, because you don't want it all over your book everywhere. You know, and then, you know, make sure you bottom folder it down. Get that stuck in those fibers really well. Okay, and then there you go with that piece. Okay, and so it makes a side loading pocket. See there? Now we're going to let that sit for just a minute. Then I'm going to make sure I ain't got no glue nowhere sticking out. I don't want any glue problems. Then I'm going to show y'all. I'm going to envelope punch it really, really quick. And all I do is I take my envelope punch. Okay. And I'll get my first pocket. And I'll just stick it under there, and that's 6 inches, so you're going to do it right at 3 inches, and you're just going to punch it down. That's 2 thicknesses, so you got to go through, and it makes your little nice little pocket edge. And then you're going to do the same thing on this other one side. You're just going to hold it up there and line it up with the 3-inch mark. Oop, and go up to it. Okay, and then you're going to punch it, and it makes a cute little pocket. And look at that, y'all. Look at this. Okay. Just throw that in the garbage. We don't need that piece anymore, so we're totally done with that. Let's see how long. Oh my gosh, how is this 38 minutes? This one's going to be super long. How in the world? I don't know. But anyway, so this is what you got. You got your first part, your second page, your pocket, your middle, your back part, this part, and then your back. And that's what you got. Your sweet little book. So I'm gonna come back, make 3 parts, because I know that this is gonna probably kick me off. Okay, and we will keep decorating in a minute. I'm gonna cut it off here, and I'm gonna make this 3 parts. I know my last video where I did the walkthrough of all the other ones, I said it's gonna be 2 parts, but sometimes it gets long and you have to cut it off. So I find it's easier for me to load it, for me to put it, and if you don't want to, just fast forward through all the other videos, but just get to the parts you need to. But it makes a nice little summer scrapbook. So I love you. I will see you all in my next video, which is part 3 of this, of doing the photo mats. I'll tell you the sizes of those, and all the book, not bookmarks, the journal cards, the cute little tag, and everything that kind of goes with it. So we will do that in a minute. So I'll see you soon. I love you. Bye.